Hi, I'm Dana Lynn. I'm a registered dietitian who focuses on behavior change, and today we're going to be talking about 3 lifestyle tips that can really help with healthy blood sugar. Now, in my last video, it was titled 4 Simple Eating Hacks for Healthy Blood Sugar. We talked about why managing blood sugar is important, regardless of whether you have diabetes or not, and then I gave you guys 4 just simple eating tips that you can use to help regulate that blood sugar. So, today we're going to move away from food and talk about the other lifestyle tips that can really help with blood sugar regulation. So, let's dive in, starting with our tip number 1, which is around physical activity. Oh my gosh, we know exercise is important, but what role is it actually playing in our blood sugar? So, what happens is just a quick rundown of, when we do eat something with glucose, sugar in it, carbohydrates. It turns into glucose in our bloodstream. And we have a hormone insulin. Insulin's job is to shuttle the sugar from our bloodstream into our cells so we can use it as energy, right? So, whenever we are exercising, we are helping our body to shuttle the sugar from our bloodstream into our cells. We're helping insulin do its job. We're helping to reduce the blood sugar spikes in our blood, and that's gonna help with all the health things that come along with having a healthy blood sugar, right? Appetite, all that stuff. So moderate movement is really what we're aiming for here. Getting your heart rate up a little bit is important. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, and I think it's really important to keep in mind that even little amounts of movement can really make a difference. So maybe ideally doing this after a meal, that's a great time to be moving your body. You can go for a walk. You can put on some music and dance. It doesn't matter what you're doing. And it can be, there's studies that are showing now as little as 2 minutes of movement can make a difference. So obviously the more you move, the more it's going to help with stable blood sugar, but it doesn't have to be that like all or nothing where you have to do 30 minutes on the treadmill at the gym. Like, do whatever you can. It's just about the movement, getting your heart rate up a little bit. Choose something that you like. So that's our tip number 1, is the movement piece, the physical activity. Tip number 2 is around stress management, which is always such a tricky topic because we're all super stressed. Sometimes we don't, oftentimes we don't even realize we're stressed, but the reason that stress plays a role in our blood sugar is really, it's just about the fact that when we're stressed out, it releases a cascade of hormones that actually increases the glucose in our blood. So we can look, let's go back in time to when our ancestors were living off the land. And if we were out and about and maybe there's like a tiger or something like that, our body had to be ready to run or fight it off, right? That's the fight or flight mechanism, part of our nervous system. So what our body does to prepare us for that is releases a whole bunch of stored glucose from our liver into our bloodstream. So anytime we are in that stressed out state, we have not evolved past this. Yes, we don't live in that lifestyle anymore, at least most of us don't. But our bodies are the same. The physiology is completely the same. So, whether we're frazzled, we're overwhelmed, we're angry at someone, all of that is triggering this stress response that sets off that cascade of hormones that is making us have higher blood sugar. And it kind of stays in the bloodstream now because back in the day we used to actually fight or run. Now we just sit and we don't really do anything, so that our blood sugars stay high, especially because we haven't been taught how to come back down from stressors. So oftentimes we're like chronically stressed and we always have that cortisol high. So all this to say, when you do have a stressful event happening, because they're unavoidable, obviously do what you can to reduce as much stress as you can in your life. But when those stressors happen, it's going to be really important afterward to know that now your blood sugar is probably up, and to bring it back down, we want to do some sort of movement, right? If you have time to exercise, amazing, but that's often not the case. So even doing things like shaking, where you just start shaking your body is going to help. That's a beautiful stress response. That's what animals do in the wild. That's going to help get some of the sugar from your bloodstream into your cells, but it also is going to help bring us back down from that sympathetic nervous system state, which is when we're in fight or flight. So we want to come back down, which we are not good at doing. So this is where we have to be very intentional about breathing, right? Doing some deep breathing. Get out and get a breath of fresh air. Do something that's going to bring your nervous system back under control. And I think another big piece of the stress management thing is how important it is to have consistent preemptive stress management like routines in your life, right? So whether it be daily exercise, it can be meditation, journaling, therapy, it doesn't matter. Choose what you want, but we want to be doing things that are consistently going to help us maintain that healthy nervous system, so that then when stressors do come, it's not so overwhelming because we're not already up here and then exploding over. We're like way lower and we can kind of handle it a little better, right? Because our nervous system isn't all frazzled already. So that's tip number 2 is around stress management. And then the third tip is sleep. Oh, sleep is so important. But how is it affecting our blood sugar? It's actually kind of a few things are going on here. But one of them is related to the nervous system. And there's a lot of studies that show when we are sleep deprived, which honestly a lot of people are just chronically, it's releasing that cortisol, which is a stress hormone that's setting off that cascade of events. So that's something to keep in mind is when we aren't stressed, that is an alert to our body that we are not safe because again, we haven't evolved back past when, our physiology hasn't evolved much past when, like if we were up all night, it's because there was a threat to our little community, whatever. So that's happening. We're having the stress response. But another thing that happens with sleep deprivation is our body produces more of our hunger hormone called ghrelin. And so this is going to actually probably lead to overeating throughout the day, or it's going to be a lot harder not to overeat. So that overeating can raise blood sugars if we're eating carbohydrates, which we often do because what do we crave when we're tired? We want energy. What gives us energy? Carbohydrates, especially like simple carbohydrates like sugar and white flours. So those are the foods we tend to crave also when we're not getting enough sleep. So sleep really does play a large role. We want to be getting like 7 to 9 hours every night. I know it's hard. With all of these things, pick one area to start and just kind of see how you can start making some changes there if you feel like it's going to be important. Yes, all of these are super great at managing blood sugar control, and they're just great for every other aspect of your health, your quality of life, your mood, like your energy, all the other things. So, but yeah, they're going to help with blood sugar control for sure. So see where you want to start, just pick one area and let me know in the comments what you choose, how it goes, and please do share this with anyone who you think would benefit from hearing this information. If you could give this video a like, that would be awesome because it helps it reach more people. And if you want more content like this, please subscribe to my channel and that way you'll get notifications when I do release new stuff. If you do want more personal one-on-one coaching from me, I do have a program called The Key that is really beneficial. So check out my website. I'll put it in the notes below. And you can check that out. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope this is helpful and have a really great, healthy day. Bye.